Well, looks like we got another terrible show tonight for AEW Dynamite. Yep, name my topic tonight's called Chaos, Confusion, and Cluster in Chicago. So stick around, right back, and break it all down for you and the Godfire Soldiers and Slumming. And I'm gonna start with the show. Before I start with the show, I'm gonna show a little bit of music. I'll show this number one hit single from 1995 called "I'll Be There for You" by the Rembrandts, the theme song from the TV show Friends. So stick around right back and here it is. I'll Be There For You, sung by the Rembrandts from the TV theme song Friends, which was the number one hit single from 1995. 30 years ago, man. Right back. I'll take the heat. I'll take the heat. I'll take the heat. I'll take the heat. Yep. I'll Be There For You by the Rembrandts by from the TV show Friends. Number one hit single for 1995. Yeah. Just to get the show on the road. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. We kick off Dynamite intro before heading to ringside to see the electric crowd in Chicago, while commentary hypes Ricochet taking on Mark Briscoe, an appearance from MJF. We get a look at the tag team eliminator brackets and a reminder that the Outrunners face the Young Bucks in the tournament action tonight. Tony Storm teams with Alex Windsor to take on Athena and Billy Stark. And in our main event, the world title is on the line as Hangman Adam Page defends the title he won in All in Texas against the man he held the title against since Wrestle Dream John Moxley. Okay, hold on, I missed it, yeah. Video package, we look at Page winning the title from Mox at All In Texas, hyping a big match. Big rematch tonight on Dynamite. We head back to ringside for our opening match as the Outrunners make their entrance. The Young Bucks are already ring. Their hard times being even harder as they get the dreaded blank template and graphic and jobber chance before the bell rings to get this title eliminator match underway. We head back to ringside for opening match as the Outrunners make their entrance. The Young Bucks. I'm gonna start with. We head back to the ringside for opening match as the Runners make their entrance. The Young Bucks are already in the ring. Their hard times being even harder to get dread, blank template graphic, and jobber chance before the bell rings to get this title eliminator match underway. The AEW World Tag Team Title Eliminator Tournament for quarterfinal, the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd, and Truth Magnum versus the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson. Matt starts things off with Magnum. who gets the upper hand early before the Bucks start to fight back. Floyd comes rushing in and off in a tag, and they take the Bucks down for it to the pop. Bucks can take control.
Hello, Moto.
Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second, everyone. Got a little phone call. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about everyone. That was a friend of mine named John who hasn't been talking to me lately. It's been a long time since we talking to me. Had a call him. Yeah, he was a friend of mine on a wrestling group. John from West Virginia, I think. Yeah, John Grow. That's his name. So let's get finished up what I was saying. Yeah, Matt starts things off with Magnum, who gets the upper hand early before the Bucks starts to fight back. Floyd comes rushing off in and tag, and they take the Bucks down to a pop. Bucks take control of the match, Buck to a chorus of boos as they tag in to keep and to tag in and to keep out Turbo worn down on the mat until Floyd makes the tag back to Magnum. He clears the house to another pop before the mat catches him in the corner. He slides out of the ring for a super kick on Floyd before coming back into the ring for tag to Nick, who continues to wear Magnum down to the chagrin of the crowd. As we go to a full ad break on HBO Max. Very simple. At HBO Max, we go to a full ad break on HBO Max. Back from the break, Nick keeps Magnum away from a tag before back from the break. Nick keeps Magnum away from the tag before going after Floyd in the corner. Turbo gets on the turnbuckle looking for a reach on the tag, but Matt knocks him off to the floor as Magnum gets taken in the back to the canvas before a tag to Matt is made. Big senton from Matt, but it's only good for a 2 count. Truth evades, but more bang for your buck. Finally escaping their grasp for their hot tod to Floyd. He goes off, sending Nick to the corner before dropping Matt with a big slam. Outrunners look for their handshake, but Nick super kicks to break it up. Total Recall then gets stopped as the Bucks start to get back into it before Turbo drops them down to the mat. We finally get a double elbow from the Outrunners, but the Bucks kick out to save the match. They send Floyd to the outside before going after Magnum, sliced bread, and a knee strike to get them a near fall. Matt looks for a super kick but nearly catches the ref instead, allowing Truth to roll him up for a 2 count. Matt sneaks a low blow, then he argues with the ref, who gets so annoyed he pushes Matt away, forcing the Buck to fall over the back of the Truth, who gets a near fall in the process. Nick comes running in to stop in a follow-up pin attempt, and they land a TK driver with Matt keeping Floyd from breaking up the pin. From breaking up the pin, and then sends the Bucks to the next round of the tournament. The winners via pinfall, voicing the tag team title eliminator, the Young Bucks. Kyle makes the way. Kyle makes his way out after the match, looking to join the Young Bucks in the speeding down the Outrunners. But this gets stopped by Swerve Strickland pretty quickly, with the Outrunners clearing the Bucks out of the ring for going after the Unified Champion. Well, Kyle makes his escape, but cannot escape with a Swerve Stomp and sends the Ringmaker to his pals to the floor. Swerve returns to the ring to stand tall with the Outrunners while his music plays. Backstage, Mark Briscoe is interrupted backstage, Mark Briscoe is interrupted by Ricochet and GOA, who tell Briscoe to stop worrying about MJF and focus on the man who is facing him tonight. Briscoe promises him an ass whooping before turning his attention back to telling off MJF. Before Ricochet grabs his attention back, saying, "I've seen him tonight." Aha. Commentary talks about MJF's appearance and more on Jackass Freeman's appearance in Happy Gilmore 2 before going backstage. Warren Jackass Freeman looks clear to the air with Shelton Benjamin after Bobby Lashley's remarks last week. Benjamin says that MVP isn't here tonight because frankly he's discussing with Warren Jackass Freeman. He asks Warren Jackass Freeman for the time and a reminder that Freeman gave him his own watch, which Shelton reveals is a knockoff. He says the only reason they didn't lay Warren Jackass Freeman out months ago was because MVP stuck his knot out for him. Before telling Max that as far as the Hurt Syndicate goes, Warren Jackass Freeman is out. We go back out to ringside, who introduces Christian Cage as we get a good pop from the former Patriarch as Cage makes his way to the ring. Cage introduces himself saying it's Christian Cage. He's an asshole. The crowd agrees in a positive manner. As Cage talks about being obsessed with getting the AEW World Championship, because that's how we saw his past in a moment after hitting a picture perfect spear. He stops himself to remind the crowd is conducting his business. Before turning his attention to Nick Wayne and his actions at All In, Texas. He goes into what he likely did deserve the treatment. How there is a long line of people looking to main for him for what he's done in the past. He then addresses what Adam Copeland said about him recently, looking back into his own remarks toward Cope for asking if things he said were really that bad. He says Adam isn't going to come out here and act like he doesn't understand with the gang within the gang, and he's made some unsavory comments himself. He then addresses Cope, telling him to go find himself. But he did, and maybe he didn't. But I know this. But know this: you and I are different, and yet are the same. Tony asked him more about what happened at All In, and Cage addresses this by running down Nick, and then Shayna Wayne. Nick thinks he's got it all figured out. He has some gold around his waist. But what's going to happen when you have to eventually fight and answer, what if you've done? Cage is going to stand out here and admit Nick has some talent and then Christian. But he was trying to protect him. Nick calls himself the new face of AEW. Now and forever. But you're going to go through Christian Cage to get there. Nick Wayne, you already have one dead father. Now you have a second father who is just dead to you. He ends up by saying he disowns Nick, Kip, and Shayna before making his way out of the ring. He goes up the ramp where Shayna confronts him before Kip appears from behind, and set up to a blindside attack from Nick Wayne to get a pair of chairs to take Christian out with a concerto, shades of E and C, for an edge and Christian. So, with the benefit of flash photography, you're drawing a great deal from the heat of the heat from the crowd. And Nick tells him they disown the former patriarch. With that, we go to commercial break. Go to commercial scenes. The match I thought was our main event, but it was actually coming up next, huh? Commercial break. Commentary says they have an update on Christian Cage when it's made available. We go back to backstage. We hear from FTR and Big Stoke. Stoke has a message for a few people, including Cope, who reminds he is banned from being in the building tonight. He then addresses Big Bang Gang ahead of our tag title eliminator match tomorrow night on Collision, before they're cut off by the Young Bucks. You get a bit of a chat of FTR. Congratulates their Bucks on their win tonight. and talking about the possibility of facing them to the finals before walking off. Stoke has a bit of fun of experience at the former EVPs before cobbling off, much to the chagrin of the Bucks as we cut away. Sure enough, coming up was the world title match, as we now see security detail at ringside set to enforce the ring ban to force the ringside ban on everyone, not the competitors and referee. Out first is the challenger, John Maxley heads through the crowd to get this ring underway, followed by the champ, Heyman and Page making his way down the ramp to a pop from the Chicago crowd. Ring introductions from both men, and with that, this match is underway. AEW World Championship. Everybody banned from ringside. Hangman Adam Page defends against John Moxley. The two men stare at each other down as the crowd is firmly behind Page. Lockup leads to Moxley taking Page to the corner, but the Hangman does not break away. Instead, it's Mox who is forced to make the break before blindsiding him with a forearm. Page fights back, sending John to the corner for some strikes before backing away. Both men return to the middle of the ring for a series of chops, each looking to take the other off their game, until Mox takes a bite out of the champ. He sends Page to the corner but takes a boot to the face, and the challenger gets caught in the choke by Page before breaking free. The action spills to the outside as Page sends Mox into the barricade for more damage, but the ref's count forces him to break into the ring. Sliding lariat gets a Page a 2 count. Chop to Mox on the ropes, followed by an elbow, and Mox is sent to the ropes before turning things around to force the champ to the corner. He drives a knee to the face of the Page before attacking the head with the mounted punches, and then drives a fist into the forehead for a good measure. He then takes Page to the mat before getting a near fall as the crowd reminds Mox that he tapped out and all in Texas. Mox pays them no mind as he continues the attack, dropping Adam to the mat before stopping away. Page breaks out of the challenger's grasp finally. But is shocked with a German suplex before being sent to the corner. But he catches Max with a lariat. Mox responds with another German suplex, but the champ manages to turn around for a near fall. Mox gets launched for a fallaway slam, sending him to the apron. Mox tries to fight back, but gets dropped to the floor by the champ, who brings Mox back into the ring for a 2 count before the challenger fights back with Kumara. Page crawls to the ropes to force a break and gets the opening he needs to roll Mox up for a near fall. John rolls out of the ring for a breather, but the Heyman follows him closely for the Mox to send him out of the ring and steps with a thud. He stands up on the ring steps, setting Page up for a pile driver that leaves the champ laid out on the floor. Mox mouthing that this is why he's the real champ, and we go to an ad break. Go to an ad go to an ad break on HBO Max. Full ad break on HBO Max. Back from the break, Mox and has a champ in the ring in a bad way before Page tries to fight out of the hole. Leads to John laying in some hard kicks before landing some other strikes. But a boot gets caught by Hangman. He's up on his feet now. The two trade strikes once more. They go back and forth until Mox fights Page in the head again. And this riles the champ up as he lays Mox out with a back suplex followed by a lariat. Page hits the apron looking for a buckshot lariat, but Mox sends him off the apron onto the announce table where he sets the champ up for a power driver, only the Page to counter with a dead eye, sending the challenger crashing through the table. Ref checks on both men, but Page quickly brings Mox back into the ring. Cover for a cover that garners a 2 count. Mox's head head back up as Page with the fight heading to the corner. Where Hangman gets caught on a moonsault, but counters right with a tombstone power driver for a near fall. Page sees an opportunity to give a challenger a taste of his own medicine, looking for a set of kicks to the head and neck, but Mox fights out of it, catching to the champ. With a bulldog choke instead, Page gets to Page is choke instead. Page tries to get out of the ropes, but a gay roll. Mox struggles up for a big crawl. Struggles up for a big crawling over to get his boot to the rope, forcing to break the action. Makes his way to the apron where Page goes for a dead eye, only for Mox to land on a power driver, sending the champ down the hardest part of the ring. He brings Page back into the ring for a Gashka power driver and cover, but Page narrowly kicks out. Hangman escapes with a DUT attempt before the two men go back at it in the middle of the ring. Page gets fired up fired up now just as it lands. There's a few shots sending Mox out of the ring, leading a moonsault off the top, forcing the challenger to the floor. She brings Mox back in the ring for the buckshot lariat, but Mox counters before Page turns it around for a dead eye, but he knocks the ref down in the process. He draws a bit of boos as the crowd can sense what's coming, with security holding back the Death Riders, but Marine Shafir who hands the title to Mox to lay out the champ. Covered by Mox as the ref is finally awake again, but Page kicks out at 2 to save his title. Ref sees Shafir at the ringside as immediately ejects her from ejects the ring ejects her per stipulation, drawing her ire as security brings her the Death Riders away. Death Riders away through the crowd. Darby catches the Riders dive with the from the opera. Darby catches the Riders with the dive from the opera box. Back in the ring, Page catches a distracted Mox with a buckshot lariat, but Mox goes for a sleeper after this gets turned into a dead eye by Hangman, who lands another buckshot lariat for a good match to win and retain the title. We're in via pinfall, still AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page. Page celebrates and missed a big pop from the crowd and heads up to the ramp. Video package. AEW TNT Champion online as Dustin Rhodes defends against Kyle Fletcher in the Chicago Street Fight. Commercial break. We head to ringside for our next match as Athena and Billy Starks make their entrance, while we get a look back at what led this match being made. Out next is Alex Windsor, followed by Thomas Tony Storm before this match gets underway. AEW Women's Tag World Champion Thomas Tony Storm and Alex Windsor versus Ring of Honor World Champion Athena and Billy Starks. We start things off with Athena and Windsor trading holds until Athena takes Windsor down. Tag mate to Storm, who looks for a scrap with a forever champ, who evades Storm long enough to tag in. Starks instead offers a handshake, but it was a ruse. As she hits a snapmare Storm fights back from the ropes from a drop kick backbreaker before Windsor tags in a double team to take turns attacking Storms. They take turns attacking stars in the corner before taking a dance to lay in the one last shot on Billy. Athena rushes in, but is quickly dispatched before Alex goes back after Starks, sending her into the ropes for a DDT to get a near fall before Athena breaks it up. Athena and Starks drop Storm to the floor, but is quickly fall off by Windsor, who sends Billy back in the ring to get back on the attack. Athena tags in for a double team, dropping Windsor with a spine buster as we go to an ad break on HBO Max. Full ad break on HBO Max. From the back from the break, Starks makes a tag double team with Athena on Windsor. Storm gets Storm wild up, forcing the ref to intervene and Lionel Starks to get even more damage in on Alex before bringing her to the center of the ring. Windsor fights back, missing a discuss punch. Wayne Starks invades, but landing headbutt to center to the mat. Athena manages to get a tag in, keeping Windsor away while Starks pulls Tony off the apron. Windsor sends Athena to the corner now, using the ropes for speed before landing a lariat. Liger Bomb falls for a near fall before Starks breaks it up. Storm rushes in, gets attacked by Athena, who gets driven down hard for a cover by Windsor. This gets breaking up. This gets broken up by a senton Mitico by Starks tried to finally made to Tony. Now she gets off on Athena and Starks gets a tag in, only sent to the mat with a Luther's press. This is followed by a German suplex sending Billy to the corner, setting up for a hip attack just after Athena sneaks a blind stag. Athena catches Storm by surprise with the O-face to sneak a pinfall in this victory match. Winning pinfall, Athena and Billy Starks. Starks sends Windsor into the barricade to keep her away, while Athena tells Storm that it's only a matter of time before gets the title in her times forever. Backstage, we hear from Angling Hangman Page, who is quickly interrupted by MJ Moore and Jackass Freeman, who's upset about the Page not wanting to defend the title against him, unless he executes the world title contract. Bring up Swerve Strickland to rile up the champ, but this gets turned around on him when Hangman tells him that if he wants to go after the title, he needs to face and beat Mark Briscoe, as he is respected over a decade for Matt Moore and Jackass Freeman just scoffs off at this for walking away. As we go to commercial with Briscoe taking Ricochet up next. Commercial break. Backstage, we hear from Will Nightingale, who talks about getting a match for Collision against Thekla and promising to take all 8 legs for Toxic Spider. Back at ringside for it's time for our main event as Ricochet makes his entrance to boos from the crowd as we get a look at the stretcher match for these two men prior to tonight. Out next is Mark Briscoe to a big pop from the crowd. This match gets underway. Briscoe gets the upper hand early before Ricochet sends him to the corner to turn things around, but not long before Mark Briscoe manages to take a fight back. Holmes manages to take a fight back to him, leading a near vertical suplex to a near fall. Ricochet starts to fight back with strikes before getting sent into the corner Bret Hart style by Briscoe. Who falls with a scoop slam for good before he takes Ricochet to the corner for some shots before Ricochet hits his back, only to be sent out of the ring with a chop. GOA make their way out as Ricochet takes the advantage. He gets knocked away before Briscoe gets distracted by the gates long enough for Ricochet to send him out of the ring as we go to a full ad break on HBO Max. Full ad break on HBO Max. Back from the break, the ref is arguing with Ricochet to use over a chair. Ref pulls the chair away, and this opens Ricochet up with a follow-up from Briscoe to the two count. Mark stays on the attack until Ricochet lands on a kick, but this doesn't keep Briscoe down long as he smacks Ricochet onto the head. He pulls the ref in front of him as Briscoe hits the top ropes to be forced out by GOA pulling the rope down. This gives Ricochet the opening as he gets a near fall, setting up for a spirit gun, but Ricochet dodges it. The driller gets blocked, but Briscoe sends Ricochet out of the ring after Mark leaves the ring, but is met with resistance from GOA, allowing Ricochet to send him back into the ring before checking on his boys. This, however, leads to Ricochet taking a dropkick from Briscoe, who sets up the chair for a dive over the ropes. This brings Ricochet back in the ring, keeping it down when Ricochet tries to fight back. Frog Bro is cut off and allowing Ricochet to hit the vertical cover for the cover, but Briscoe manages to kick out at 2. Brother King and Bandito has had enough of the GOAO involvement, rushing down to deal with them ahead of their tag title eliminator match. Collision as Briscoe takes a series of strikes and Ricochet only to set Ricochet up for a driller. Series of Ricochet strikes Ricochet only to set Ricochet up for a driller. Ricochet escapes to only take the lariat instead. Mark Fine catches him, and with a J Driller to take the win. Winner by pinfall, Mark Briscoe. Briscoe has no time for celebration here, grabbing a mic to call out MJF revoking his brother's match, not just once but twice. He says he's never felt like this, recognizing that he's his brother up in heaven chilling in that mansion, but says he never may not be forgiven for what he's going to do to Moron Jackass Freeman. He's worried, so he tells Moron Jackass Freeman to make his day and give him the match right here and now, right now. Moron Jackass Freeman's music hits and continues with sign of AEW World Champion until he pops out on the screen. Tells Briscoe he's not dumb enough to go out there. He knows that Briscoe seemed to drop the comedy for a moment there. He is not enough for Moron Jackass Freeman to take him seriously. He isn't interested in facing Briscoe but now he has to prove a point because Seabiscuit says Moron Jackass Freeman doesn't deserve a shot at the title. We talked to Tony Khan about next week. It'll be Mark Briscoe taking on Moron Jackass Freeman in the main event if that is Briscoe can make it. We soon see what he means by that when Moron Jackass Freeman rushes into the ring from behind for a sneak attack. He lays in some more damage before grabbing a microphone. Paige calling out Paige, calling him a coward. This draws out the champ, forcing Moron Jackass Freeman to a proverbial corner. This allows Mark to go for a Dre driller, but Moron Jackass Freeman manages to break away, retreating up the ramp to stage as the crowd chants "coward" at Freeman. Briscoe's music hits as he stands alongside Paige, who leaves the ring to give Mark his moment as commentary hits next week's matches in Collision for tomorrow night and before Dynamite comes to a close. Garbage tonight, really garbage tonight. Really crap tonight. Garbage. Really BS tonight. Yep, this is really unbelievable. So that's my review for tonight. Now let's see. It's time. I know what it's time for. It's time for. Hold on 1 second. Awesome. So. Time for the timeline history of all the wrestling birthdays, pop culture, and all that stuff. All you hear that thing is the theme for Back to the Future star Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. All you hear that little tune right there, back there. It celebrated its 40th anniversary on July 3rd, 1985. You know, July 3rd. Yeah, it celebrated its 30th and 40th anniversary on July 3rd, 2025. It was released July 3rd, 1985. So let's get down to business. Yesterday was July the 29th. Okay, let's see, let's see, 27, 20. Okay, yesterday was a happy 60. Yeah, 63rd birthday of Scott Steiner. Big Papa Pump. Holler if you hear him. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Marie and Melissa Stripes turns 37 yesterday. And yesterday would have been a happy 92nd birthday to Captain Lou Albino, the late Captain Lou Albino. Yeah, the late Captain Lou Albino would have been 92 yesterday. 92 yesterday. He died October 14th, 2009 of natural causes. God bless his soul. WWE Hall of Famer. And yesterday, see, WCW Pro, yeah, Marcus Alexander Bagwell versus Jake Steele. Clash of Champions update: Johnny B. Bad versus Johnny Swinger. Feature Hulk Hogan enters Dungeon Doom segment. The Giant. Kevin Sullivan versus Leroy Howard. Harlan Heat versus Red Tyler and Jackie. Harlan Heat segment. Sister Sherry. Let's see. Holland. Yeah. Kevin Sullivan versus Leroy Howard. Holland Heat versus the Red Tyler and Eddie Jackson segments. Interview of Holland Heat and Sister Sherry. Diamond Dallas Page versus David Sullivan. Macho Man Randy okay, on WCW Worldwide. Main defeats Red Tyler for after a thrust kick. Kamala with Kevin Sullivan pins Ron Thompson for a splash. Bubba Rogers defeats Bert Sawyer after Big Bubba Slam. The Blue Bloods defeat Mike Curry and Leroy Howard when Starless Steven Reyes makes Howard submit to the Regal Stretch. Alex Wright and Brian Pillman defeat Harlem Heat via DQ when Sherry interferes. Let's see what else. Oh, the screen's freezing up, everyone. Yeah, okay. On the same day, July 22nd, 1905, WWF Superstars fought two defeated. Make a difference. Fought two defeated. Rare, some knows Rikishi King Mabel defeated Gary Scott. Razor Ramon knows Scott Hall, Xavier Vega, and the 1-2 Freak knows X Pac defeated the Blue Twins, Eli Blue and Jacob Blue, and Uncle Zebekiah known as Zeb Coulter. Waylon Mercer defeated Major Yates. See, trying to see what I'm seeing. Come on. Hold on 1 second, while trying the stupid screen is freezing up. And on WCW Saturday night, Macho Man Randy Savage defeated Tom Burton. Vader defeated Tom Torres. WCW TV Champion Renegade defeated Jack Steele. And WCW and US Champion Sting defeated Scott Stevens. Ric Flair defeated Marcus Alexander Bagwell. In 2005, July 29, 2005. July 29, 2005. Let's see. Yeah, a couple movies released in theaters. Movie called Self, starring Jamie Foxx, Academy Award winner Jamie Foxx, Jessica Biel, and Josh Lucas. A movie called no Must Love Dogs, starring Diane Lane and John Cusack, was released, and Self, starring Kurt Russell, Kelly Preston, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Daniel Panabaker, was released. And 2015, Impact Wrestling. Eric Young defeated Chris Melendez with Kurt Angle. Brooke defeated Marty Bell with Jade and returned to Road to retain the TNA Knockout Championship. And Magnus and Mickey James defeated James Storm and Serena Deeb. Okay, now it's 12 a.m. Now it's July 30, last day of July. Now, same day, July 29, 2015, on NXT, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder defeated Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy with Carmella. Baron Corbin defeated Jesse Sorensen. Jason Jordan and Chad Gable defeated Elias Sampson and Levis Venezuela Jr. Charlotte Flair defeated Dana Brooke with Emma. Kevin Owens defeated Danny Burch. Blake Murphy with Alexa Bliss defeated with Vaudevillains, Aiden English, and Simon Gotch. Okay. Now let's go to July the 30th. Yesterday. Okay. Yesterday was a happy 78th birthday to WWE Hall of Famer, one of the best action movie stars of all time, Arnold Schwarzenegger. He turned 78 yesterday. Sylvester Stallone's brother, Frank, he was part of Hulk Hogan's celebrity wrestling. And God rest Hogan right away. God bless him. Dun, dun, dun. 75. He was 75 yesterday. And let's see. And see, birth and some wrestling history yesterday. See, sorry to keep everyone on time. So you're trying to see what else. Trying to see what other history yesterday. See, trying to see what else. On WWF Wrestling Challenge. The Smoking Guns, Billy and Bart defeated Lenny Scott Lenny Scott turned Victor Lewis. The Tonka defeated David Haskins. Aldo Montoya defeated Tony Williams. Alan Baum defeated Tony DeVito. King Kong with Ted DiBiase defeated Buck Quartermain. And let's see on WWF Action Zone. Adam Ball defeats Tony DeVito after a neutron bomb. King Kong Bunny with Ted DiBiase pins Buck Quartermain after an avalanche. And they show highlights and everything. And then the Visionary for Iris Yank and DDS was aired, which some of you know was Kane. Smoking Guns defeat Victor Lewis and Scott Turner after Billy pins Turner with a heart attack. That's the Hart Foundation's move. Bret Hart, Hitman Hart's, and Jim the Anvil Neidhart's move. They stole that move. Let's see on main, and let's see. Yeah, I think there was no main event here on that night. Let's see. See on 2005 on Velocity, July 30th. Paul London defeated Nunzio. Frankie Kazarian defeated Funaki. And Eminem Giant Mercury Nitro defeated Sky Sabre and Stephen Lee. And Hardcore Holly defeated Simon Dean. And let's see now. Let's see. Okay, Cesaro. Okay, on SmackDown, hyping up the SummerSlam 2015, Cesaro defeated Seth Rollins via DQ. Os Matadores, Diego and Fernando with El Torito. Diego and Fernando with El Torito, and the Lucha Dragons defeated Kalisto and Sakara defeated the New Day, Big E, and Kofi with Xavier Woods and Ascension, Connor and Victor. Rusev with Summer Rae defeated Jack Swagger by submission. Stardust defeated R-Truth. Cesaro and Dean Ambrose defeated Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. Let's see what else. Trying to see what else. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So that will do for my everything. I'm the Godfather, Soldier, Slimness, Lake Chair, Head, Short Cell, that dress up a chubby checker, sing like Leonard, dance like James Brown. Like to get in the hot tub, gonna make me sweat, gonna make me dry, gonna make me wet. Furniture, Eddie Murphy doing an impression of James Brown on Saturday Night Live. I never grew up in the 80s, back in the 80s. I never grew up in the 80s or grew up in the 90s. I saw reruns of old school Saturday Night Live. So I hope I'll have a good morning. It's midnight. I'm getting some sleep. And this morning, midnight, I'm going to close out the show with a little bit of song. Number one single from R&B single 1995 called I Can Love You Like That by All For One. So I hope all of you have a good night. And here it is, close out the show this morning. It's midnight. I Can Love You Like That by All For One. Good night, everybody. By the way, I want to apologize. One other thing, I saw I can love you like that. All you just heard by All for One. And by the way, I just want to apologize for all of you. Everything. One thing before I leave. Uh, I want to say I want to apologize for that. For while I was speaking while I was playing the song. I'll be there for you by Friends theme song. While I was talking. I was saying I'll take the heat. Talking to myself. I'm sorry about that for all of you. Have a good morning. Peace. I'm out of here.